This is a short video about how I want you to use Google Docs in this class. I use Google Docs a lot in my teaching. I think there's so many great features with it, but there's a few things that I want you to know. So first off, to get started, why Google Docs? Well, first off, it's very easy to use. There's a pretty good chance I don't need to explain this to you at all, but I'll show you some of the basic features of it. If you know how to use Microsoft Word, all the major features that you probably use for that to write an essay are there. Second thing is it's cross-platform, so I don't have to worry if you have a Mac or if you have a PC, Firefox or Chrome or whatever else. You can use whatever you want. Third is part of the software you're already paying for with your EMU tuition. That is tied to your email account, your Google Drive account, your EMU Google YouTube account, the whole thing. As I'll also show you, it's handy for collaboration, which means that when you're working on group projects, it's easy for a group of people to be working on a single Google document, which makes it easier to put it all together. And finally, it's really handy for my purposes as a teacher, and I'll show you more specifically what I mean when I get to demonstrating some of the specifics of Google Doc. To get started, you're going to go to docs.google.com, or there's other places that you can get access to it if you set up your Google Drive account and things like that. You want to make sure that you're in your Eastern Michigan account. That way you can share your Google Docs with other people at EMU. And then simply click blank document. And then give it a title. So I'm going to call this one demonstration document, because that's what it's about. And then start typing. Now you can do all kinds of other sort of stuff here, and I'm going to go ahead and add in some text. Okay, and you can format this as you see fit. I'm going to go ahead and tab that in like this. I'm going to highlight that and change the font because, you know, just something different. I'm going to change the size so it's a little bit bigger. If I wanted to, I can make some things italics. I can make some things bold. I can underline things if I wanted to. I could change the color of things, stuff like that. One thing that I think is probably pretty useful for everybody is to double space things. It's a lot easier to read it. Let's say you wanted to make something a link. So you could highlight something like this. And you want to make a link to something. You could just do that. Okay, so it works pretty much like Microsoft Word. The next step that's key for this is to share the document. So what I'm going to do is I click where it says share, and I'm going to make sure, I'm going to change this link so instead of it being anyone with a link can view it, that anyone with a link can edit it. Okay? Then I'm going to copy that link, and now it's copied to the clipboard, so I could copy that link into a Canvas file or a Canvas discussion, or I could email it to somebody or whatever. You're going to share your Google Docs as links like this, as URLs, instead of embedding them into Canvas, because Canvas doesn't handle that very well. But this key feature here, so anyone can edit, that is important for others to be able to see and comment on your document. Now you might be a little bit anxious about that and say, well, then that means that anybody out there on the internet could, but we're not going to change each other's documents, and you can always revert back to the original. I'll show you how to do that in a second. And by changing it to edit, it makes sure that everyone can provide comments, and also so that we can see a history of the file. Now to make comments, all you do is you highlight something that you want to comment on, and then you click where it says comment, and then you say insert your comment. So for example, why is this bold? So for example, now then you can go through and make similar comments. I'm going to go ahead and, obviously these are just kind of fake comments, but you know, you would make real ones. Now, what's great is that other people can also look at this and they can make similar kinds of comments and different kinds of comments. So for example, They might look at this comment and say, why is this bold? And they might say something like, that's a good question. Why the bold? Or build off of this. And so forth. Okay. Now, for your essay, the way this is going to work is at first you have to start with one Google Doc. In this case, you'll go back and when you'll revise this essay, you'll make changes to this document. In other words, even if you decide to change everything, you can delete it all and then keep typing in this document, but you have to use the same document that you started off with, the same one that you shared from the very beginning. Okay? So you'll copy this link and share this link from the beginning of the assignment to the end of the assignment for each draft. One of the reasons for this is because I'm allowed to do, because you have because you save this so that others can edit, is I can see the version history, and what I can do here is I can actually go through and see the various ways in which this document has changed. So the document started like this, and then it went like that, and then it became this, and then this is the current version. And I can even, if I wanted to, as a writer, go back and restore the previous version. But this allows me as a teacher to see what exactly kind of changes did you make from the draft from the very beginning to the very end. Okay, so just for a quick review here, first off, once you open up a Google Doc for a draft of one of your assignments, keep making changes to that specific Google document. That way, I can check later to see the version history and see what changes you made and things like that. Second thing is make sure you have to share the Google Doc properly. Share it so anyone at EMU can edit. And I don't know why this is the case, but this is a really easy step to forget. This happens to me all the time. It happens to my students all the time. So before you copy and paste that link in there, make sure you've properly shared it, because if you haven't properly shared it, it won't work and your assignment will be late and all that kind of stuff. Second, you're going to share the URL of the Google document. Don't use Canvas's embed feature because that does some kind of strange things. Then you want to comment on each other's drafts using the comment feature, as I showed in the video. And last but far from least, do not close those comments when you hand it in. I know what you want to do. You want to close and resolve all those comments because it makes your essay look nice and pretty, and all those things go away and things like that. But as a teacher, what I want to see is I want to see the process. I want to see the comments that other students made so that I can add to those comments and I can see what changes you've made and things like that. So leave all those comments open, okay? Okay.